B site. So Cypher instead going to be supporting on A, allowing for faster rotations to come through from Fake. And then, of course, I mean, if you're playing a game without a Sage, you're absolutely mental. That's the one agent we've never seen not being picked.
And maybe a team will be brave enough to get rid of the Sage at some point. She's received multiple nerfs, and still people are like, you know what? Can't live without the Sage. It's been too good. And I'll tell you where the Sage is strongest, by the way, pistol round. The wall has a lot of HP. Pistols do not break walls easily. The wall can and will decide how the round is played. As Replan, the timing here needs to be exact. If he gets peeked or he's got the boombot out, he's dead for sure. He's got to throw it out soon. 5 members about to approach him. The wall cut him on through. This boombot will give early information. As well, the Molotov being thrown in as well. 8 shells will do heavy damage. Look at the HP bars. Somehow, some way, Royals have avoided that.
Well, Royals look to retake things in towards the middle area. You're going to see Cinda still lurking around this area as well. He's got a fallback with Cypher already having a tripwire down below. That actually serves really, really well if he does get pressured. But B is the ultimate goal here, and so Embo's the one that has to hold on. As Cinda falls, they don't get baited in. They're still going for B. And Embo is going to have a hard hold as Replan falls. Oh,
my goodness, Russ. Russ has come online. Look, he's had some slow rounds, some slow early games here in the past match that we've seen, but not today. Not right now, anyway. Alexi for one. I don't know if he'll get more spotted by the spy cam. He's making his way through heaven, but he's got to check so many corners, so many angles. 4 players alive in the post one, and they are knocking him out of the park right now. Royals for one to start things out with, the Royals on an early lead.
Royals with the 1-round advantage will feel a little bit happy. Considering how the previous map played out as well, though, 2G4L is usually going to be in the position where a team starts to get, you know, a little bit triggered, a little bit worried, starts to feel the pressure. If they go down 3 or 5-0, they got to get themselves back in. But as we mentioned before, this is a team that can always keep themselves in it mentally. This round right here is one where they're going to feel the hurt, where some teams do start to get a little bit triggered because they're unlikely to find any kills. They come in with classics, and whilst those are... Ooh, nice nade.
Oh no, Replan though, he's going to bite the dirt in that one. Ambo pushed out almost instantly. He's going to get surrounded from heaven as well. He has no idea that the push actually happened, but surely you got to think about this one. Notice that Royals completely took over mid for free. 2G4L were not holding that position at all. This Capers swings around with Ghost in hand. He only started this one with a Ghost. He did not upgrade his pistol onto a rifle or SMG. Alexi looking for the right clicks, unsuccessful. We see that. I like his spray, buddy, but I'm going to have to find out if you can get a couple of kills here. A flawless round for Royals. And that is a rough start for 2G4L.
Here it is, though. This is exactly where 2G4L want to make this stop. They're up against what we've seen from Royals again and again. The willingness to take these weaker buys, to invest nothing coming into round number 3 after winning the first 2, and in some instances just bring a Ghost forward, which is what Cape is, who will be the last player in a lot of these engagements, has gone for, allowing him to take a much more supportive role in healing up his teammates. In fact, just passively holding for information in middle here. Now, Royals shouldn't win this round on paper. They haven't got the firepower to do it, but they have all their abilities. It's only in aim duels that they'll really struggle, but they know that. Giving 2-1 isn't bad. Realistically, if they can find 3 kills in a round like this, they'll do enough damage to 2G4L that in the full buy in the next round, they have a real chance to beat them back.
Well, we did see a potential for a fake coming through to B. A big rotation now from those members now. Going over towards A. Capers just checking out what's happening in towards mid. Didn't see any action. The big player here is actually Fake. He's in a really tight position. He's tucked in, and I do not believe that Royals know anything about this. They have not seen him. What will happen, though, is I'm 90% sure Fake will die even if he gets a couple of kills. He will be given over to Vandal. Replan, however, is going to draw some attention. Fake now in a position to maybe get a couple more. That's enough kills. They drop 2 members eventually, but Replan with 4 kills, buying time for Fake to even swing through is enough. And 2G4L are on the board.
And that's the round we talked about. The one that we know can go that way. But now Royals get the full investment. They've got their Phantoms, they've got an Operator, and here's where they can do the damage. With 2G4L having to invest in on Embo and Cinda, they can really beat them into submission. A faster A hit looks to be likely with 4 players here, but there is still a fake going on. The Rays moving in towards the B site quite slowly as the Operator looks for the peek outside of A.
They'll have to be careful. They need to confirm where Fake is playing. They've seen the flash coming through now. So we know he's absolutely playing towards A ramps. Could there be a player tucked in towards the left side of the lobby again? No, checking that corner. Safe. Clear. Fake is the information broker now. He needs to be the one that spots the push on towards A. If he spots it on the rotation, will come on through. He needs to be able to do the damage. First kill surely comes through. It does. Second kill not confirmed. As Capids will return the favor. Spike's not been dropped from the floor. Now the rest of 2G4L should surely be able to move through. Showstopper being used here by the offensive side, as I don't think Hype is going to find much with it. But hold my breath for now. Could still be something.
You will not kill my allies.
Well, as Capiz gets the res up, at least Royals are back up to full manpower for the retake in order to push 2G4L out of that retake. Breaking the wall. Oh, he's close to running out of ammo. They could pressure him, but that's why he's got support. A second player close by to look to trade as Embo finds that kill, but Capiz lines them up and takes a double. Royals in a 4 versus 2, and 2G4L starting to back off. Understandably not wanting to get any more involved or commit any more resources to a losing battle. Out they go, and 3 on the board for Royals. As we predicted, they'll lose
DPS?
Oh, no, he's not going to get anything, unfortunately. But they lose their round where they come in with just SMGs, but once the rifles get back on the board, that's where the damage gets done. And even with the kill to DPS, AVRL, they do walk away with 3 players, which is pretty decent all in all.
I think DPS is, I mean, the players that do go down here, the couple that went down for Royals, the rebuys do not look comfortable. We can see this. DPS and Casper don't have great money. They'll be relying on drops from their teammates. Capers, Russ, and Hype will be putting cash towards their teammates' equipment purchases. As well, 2G4L for what it's worth as well. They had just enough to maybe still buy into this one properly. It's not comfortable. We're in a position where into round number 5 now. First Operator being seen onto the field. That will be in Russ's hands. Again, he felt kind of cold on the Operator in certain maps earlier on, but he's felt warmed up now. He's on the board for sure. He's got 4 kills.
My camera is
just seeing if someone wants to walk into his crossfire, into his crosshair rather.
All stacked up heavily outside of B, and that Cypher play leaving A eventually. Camera's still there to watch for flanks every now and then. You can see he just took a glance right there. The flash out. No Hype able to get 1 in a second as well. Actually, that goes to Russ. But the ultimate is what finishes off Embo and puts Royals ahead by 2 again, dominating 2G4L. Cinda caught healing before he could even pull his gun back out as Hype went up there with the blast pack. And this is, again, a save situation for 2G4L. Realistically, you just can't get involved at this point. It's too late, and they're sticking around too long. There's a player starting to push down towards mid, but it's Hype you've got to be worried about. He's coming right up behind, and as they try to exit, he grabs the finale, the 3rd kill in the round. A fantastic one from Hype. And I hope now you realize what we were talking about in map 1. How Hype on the Rays has been insane to watch, and here he is showing us what he can do.
And now the piggy bank finally buckles for 2G4L. They've tried their hardest to maintain some semblance of purchasing power. They're going to be forced into an eco now. It's actually maybe a bit of a half buy. You do see the Marshal. You do see Embo, Spectre into light armor. Could he be the player to make something happen? Could he be someone that can really challenge as Cinder? Finding an opening headshot would be beautiful for him. That would be Christmas morning for sure. Couple players over towards A. That's where the strongest defense will be held. But also, it's Embo that we need to look at as well, because he's the guy that can really try and get something done in the mid. Replan will wait for him.
Embo wants to get close. That's an opportunity for him if he can actually get through here. He needs some support, though. With his back turned, Capiz falls, and Embo keeps on firing. Good damage done. At least it looked like it to Russ. It's actually only in a factor of 30 or 40, taking most of his armor off at least.
No gun recovered. He would have loved to have picked up a proper rifle there. And he might decide to walk through smoke as well. The next player that may be on the batting line would have been Alexi, but it does feel like Royals now will be rotating their last 2 members alive towards the A site. And remember, this was a eco to start things out with, and we are on desperation mode for the last 2 players alive. They have about 35 seconds to try and find a plant. They have no ultimates available. Util is starting to run out as well. They have a couple of guns, and for sure by now the rest of their dead teammates' weapons, rifles will have been picked up by 2G4L, so they have to contend with that as well. They're making a lot of noise, and this will for sure now be a position where 2G4L start collapsing. Yep, there it is. Sin for the headshot. Russell follow.
Nice little 3K for Fake in that round, and 2G4L showing that they're not just going to be walked all over at least. Royals, though, as we mentioned in some previous rounds here, they were building up a lot of cash. And so they've got the bankroll to support an investment in this one right here. The problem is that gap is still quite expansive. 2G4L rocking with 4 ultimates. And there's no real benefit to Royals in this round if they manage to bait out those ults, because they'll be so low on money in the next round that they basically just give 2G4L an opportunity to farm them back up.
And notice, by the way, 2G4L, they're in a good money position because they picked up 4 gun upgrades for free. They did not have to respend very much at all. Cinder finds something on the opening. Someone may just walk into a lot of players actually going towards the play. He's been caught by the Rolling Thunder, and that will guarantee his death now. A counter Rolling Thunder being played in by the defensive side. That's going to be Fake, just to buy the time to allow the teammates now to re-assault in towards Heaven. But major rotation, Mitch, as we head towards mid instead. Oh! Oh, no.
I know exactly.
I got too excited.
Yeah, just getting debated in by that one, but no. Replan's not getting a thing done. It's going to be into a 5v3. Royals bouncing right back on into this round. They've locked them out with the cages. They've got tripwires as well in play. Cameras to watch on in towards the spawn. And for Royals, this is looking like an airtight defense in the post plants. They've even got a flank coming through. They're not content to just win this round. They want to punish their opponents as Russ lines them up and takes them down. Look at this. Fake running with knife out. Had no idea about DPS. And that's the setup, right? When DPS goes towards A, when you have a 2-man advantage, you can afford to send a player to the other side of the map. When he goes there, you know at that point, they're not saying, oh, let's sit down and let's hopefully win this round and stop them retaking. No, they're saying they're not getting out of here with a gun, and we're going to make damn sure of that.
It seemed like it was only a moment's reprieve there for 2G4L to bring one back their way, and, well, the loss bonus has been reset now. The worst thing that can really happen to you from a financial standpoint is to finally win one round, get the 3K for the win bonus, and then instantly get reset back to the minimal loss bonus. So, yeah, I mean, at least because of what they did on the eco round, because they won an eco round, that's the only reason they'll be able to repurchase now. It'll be lights out and bad news for them again. Bad weather, the forecast says. 2G4L, if they are back on the loss, they need to lean into the res. They need to lean into the guns that they do have. Replan is sniping again, but no one's entering his line of sight.
And the mid control's being given up pretty consistently by 2G4L as well. Look at that. They're so far back on B, committing 3 players towards that side of the map. And unfortunately for them, this is the round that Royals look to A and a split through mid at that. So facing absolutely no combat. Cinda drops down the wall, but he's not able to deal with the player already through, and again has to concede control. Losing out on Heaven, now it becomes an information game, and with Fake falling, that info is not in play for them. They have to rush in towards that B site now late, having already lost a lot of players. Luckily, though, Alexi was good for a double to at least keep them alive. Replan hoping to find himself one, and he gets DPS in the back. Not peeked in time, but the shot missed, and so Hype keeps them alive in the 2v2. Hype tries to mask the sound of him dropping with his silent shots. I don't know if that will have worked quite as well as with the Vandal. With the flank coming around to try and pick up that spike, they have to move fast.
Yep, and Embo needs to be patient. You might even want them to plant. Allow the plant just to play for the retake. If Embo dies here, this retake is going to be very difficult. He's going to peek and probably be punished here. The swing from Hype is real indeed. And this resurrection coming in from Heaven, that might work out pretty well for 2G4, but the fact that he even had to force the resurrection is not great for them. Showstopper still available here, coming through from Hype if he wants it. and a very winnable game on both ends. Again, if Embo survives, this would be so much easier. The rocket connects. 3 kills. Cinder, his value has been his value has been measured already. He got the resurrection, but now has put Alexi in a winning position, and that isn't gonna happen. Casper and also Hype on very low HP, but they are both gonna live.
It isn't looking good, AVRL, is it? For the attacking side of Split, you don't expect a 6-2 scoreline this early on and force down to an eco on the 2G4L side. Realistically, it's going to be 7. From that point, where do you move? You know, like, you can't allow Royals to win a single round after the next. And I think it's fair to say 2G4L have been anything but convincing in the rounds they're winning.
And this might be much of the same because Cinder can't quite find an angle over towards mid. We talked about 2G4L giving up mid. Well, now they're hard stacking it to no avail. The one round, they want to make a play onto mid. The one round, Royals decide they're not going to go there. They kill Red Plant and they're going to exit now. Possible contact with Ramen. Take Casper the shot and he won't. Russ gets that instead. Possible flank coming through as well. Russ might not be out of hot water. He finds that tag, or get tagged, but he will get the swing onto Embo. And nothing's worked with 2G4L on this particular eco. It's a flawless win for Royals. We've seen 2G4L win ecos, but not this round.
This is the one that matters. 2G4L need to make the comeback. It's hard to believe in a flawless attacking side from them. That said, Royals have looked insane on the attack. You think back to Haven, when they swapped over, they had the control. Their ability to move as a unit was absolutely incredible to watch, round on round. Some of the setups, some of the ability usage they had, like Russ popping through on the stealing the site, down into towards the window, DPS swinging. Everything looked so good for them. But I don't think it should be this convincing. Not on Split, not this early on as they push in towards B. There's only one player here. The Brimstone ult used to keep them back in heaven. And look at the damage. They're just winning every single fight.
The problem there is Alexi revealed his positioning by throwing out the trap wires. So if he doesn't do that, he actually gets to tuck in quite nicely, and Royals would have to hard check that one. But instead, they could basically pre-fire it, and Red Plan has to hold on to this operator. Now, no way he goes for it. 1v5, like you said. Royals just win every single fight there. All those blue X's, all the nice kills they managed to get. Hype's going to try and again. Red Plan, he gets the kill, but his position's revealed. But Red Plan's not going to get the second one, is he? So, Royals 8-2 now. We're back in the same situation we found ourselves on by Mitch. Will it be 9-3?
Well, I sure hope Royals don't hit up on 9, but realistically, oh no, never mind. 2G4L are taking the force bite. They're coming in hard. Ambo on the Spectre. And look at the difference in performance on these players as individuals. And Rapplin being up on 7, but considering that he's playing Raze, you're on Split, which is all choke points. It makes sense that he's getting some good damage out. Really, we need...
And now he's in position to get a lot more as well. Showstopper available as we're pushing in towards A, all 5 there. All 5 will now be moving in a little bit heavier.
Oh, man. How's he got a triple out of that? Just one at a time, they're peeking on through. They deal with him eventually, but it's way too late at this point. 2G4L are miles ahead in the round. Okay, they've removed the only ultimate that was, I mean, effectively in play for 2G4L. I doubt Cypher's going to do anything at this point. But it's just far too late to get in. Huge performance is needed. 1-for-1's not good enough. Cape has got to do it all. Has the heal up, has the res, but that's not going to be able to be used at all. Those players are way too exposed. Goes for the heal. Oh, and a double! What is that spray down? He can now get the heal on the back of the site. It's all down to the Sage versus Sage gameplay. And out he goes! K-Piz with a 4K. Cinda falls. And 9 rounds for Royals. What in the world did I just watch?
That may be one of the best comebacks I've seen so far from a solo performance. That could have been the round. That should have been the round for 2G4L to be able to pick up. They were in position. They had the players. They had all the things they needed, all the right pieces of the puzzle. Red Plan in position. 3 kills early on. Fake lurking as well, wasting a lot of time there for the attackers of Royal. And we look at this position, no way Capers gets this one. His position's revealed, he's low HP, he doesn't even get a chance to heal up. But Missed shots coming through from Alexi is going to cost them that round. The 2G4 are hurting. They are hurting emotionally as well because that really should have been their game. Really should have been their round. And you say this is a team that doesn't, so I hope that's true, man, because I would be feeling very upset about that.
Smoke's down.
Well, Russ falls. A 5v4. 2G4L looking to bring this on to 3. Man, they let it slip in the previous round. The mistakes were off the charts. Embo, very early on, popping that ultimate. It isolates K-Piz, but he still wins the duel. Embo knew he was coming. At least managed to trade out onto Russ and leave it into a 4 versus 4 with low HP for at least a breach. That is healable, but the Sage is actually, as you can see, with Heaven, while Breach is down outside B in the tunnel. So that damage not going to be healed up just yet. Cape is also isolated. Oh man, they can't win these fights. Not again and again. Hype with a double. It just destroyed them. The heal can go down on the Breach as well. Still hasn't.
Oh jeez. I think we're going to see 10 Mitch. It's looking that way for sure. Look, Faker's going to try and enter, but he'll be pushed out. He'll be slapped down. Put out of his misery here. K-Piz for 3 as well. K-Piz is turning up the heat on this particular half right now. He's overtaken Hypers, the top frag. And we talk about raises. Of course, they're going to be high frags in this particular map. Like I said, choke points are everywhere. AoE damage is all that Raze is about. And 10-2 has been the scoreline in that first half. A disgustingly good performance from Royals, who are now on the warpath to complete this quarterfinals in a 2-1 scoreline. 2G4L would have to have a perfect attack, and I do not believe that is possible.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. I mean, even when I was thinking about 9-3, AVRL, I was saying that this is probably going to be a very difficult task for 2G4L, one that I could barely believe in, but then 10-2. And the way they found it. The clutch that came through from the Sage of K-Piz is going to keep me awake for weeks. That was incredible. I honestly, I would have bet 1,000,000 times against him.
Might keep 2G4L awake as well. They might have some nightmares about that one tonight, especially if they end up losing this quarterfinal, which at this point in time seems more than likely a potential crossfire here, or at least a potential opportunity for Hype to come on through for a big swing, but they need the information from PTS to confirm it. Now, everyone's here, but unfortunately, Red Plan doesn't check. No one looked behind the box. You can't do that, Red Plan. But that's going to be a major punish. At least it's still 4v4. At least there's still defenders here. I say that, but K-Piz is going to need to work the magic again. K-Piz can pull out the tricks. He's dropped the spike on the floor. Can he get the second kill? He doesn't. Fake will be the one returning the favor now as Royals might actually lose this round. 2G4L are looking for this first pistol, but I don't know what to say here, Mitch. 2G4L should be getting this, but they are dropping members.
Embo. Oh, he's good for 1, but not the second. And another nail in the coffin there in the clutch situations. 1 out by Royals. Casper this time, as it's 11-2. Oh, man. I think I can feel my heart breaking for 2G4L, because I'm thinking back to the last time they played against Royals, where they so nearly had it, where it was 2-0 for Royals, but 13-11 on the second map, 13-3 on the first. It was so close for 2G4L at least pulling out a third.
This is a nice spot.
But if this is how the third map looks, maybe they're better off losing 2-0.
Yes, this should do.
I'll tell you what, 2G4L, they're force buying now. They're into the Marshals, they're into the Stingers and all that. They want this round desperately. It's been an okay start. You got to say, look, they managed to get at least 1 kill. They're going to get a lot more than that. That's not going great for 2G4L. Just caught alive now. This gambit's not worked out. Hype might be on 1 HP, but you better believe he's going to swing for this. You better believe he's going to go for it. Util's being thrown in. Cinder's thinking, how do I win this? How do I get 3 kills? How do I get a plant here? 1 rotation going back. It's no longer a 1v3, at least not directly onto A anymore. He's got to find the first one onto DPS. He's not going to get that. And now they are sorely punished. This is done. 13-2 will be your scoreline because we're into a force buy. You force bought on that last round. You now do not have money to purchase guns anymore. And I don't know what your theory is coming from Counter-Strike, but personally, I would have thought 2G4L give up that last round, have some real guns in this round, and that to me would have been their only comeback.
Again, I have to agree with you. And look at this, Royals. They're not even trying to finish it here, Avril. They're
And
happy
so
to take it all
harsh,
the way.
so right.
Well, it's true. It really is. This has been a great first map for 2G4L. Really, ever since the first half of the first map, though, they haven't looked like themselves. Oh, man, they've taken a goddamn eco on this. 2G4L coming up against Royals with weaker weapons, and even then, they suffer the opening losses, but trade back 2 for 2. The chances are there. They've got a man advantage.
Well, I mean, what we get here is the fact that, to be fair, Royals didn't really have a strong purchase themselves. They just work in the economy. They got a lot of rounds to burn. Maybe I was wrong about the 13-2. In fact, I want to be wrong about the 13-2 because I don't want to see 2G4L bow out that quickly on this map. This is now going to be the one they get so far on this attack. They finally pick one up again. We walked into this half 10-2. This is the first round that 2G4L have managed to win. We're going to see a little bit more. The money situation probably not great for them. They're going to have to force again. Every single round is going to be a force by now, no matter what. And Royals, they got the money to play with. They got the rounds to play with. They got the time to play with.
That's why Royals came into the previous round just taking those weaker weapons. Like you said, they've got the rounds to play with. And here's the one that they're looking to stop playing with their food and just fully execute. That's a very aggressive worship towards top. It has kept the players close. Capes takes a lot of damage on the fade out. That's going to be the heal popped early on. But was it worth it? Fake down to 45. In fact, Royals walk out on top of that. They've got to make a move quickly to really capitalize on the heal being popped. But Capes takes down Cinda. No heal possible! How does he win that even blind? As eventually Alexi trades it back, but it's too little too late. A 3v2, low HP for their Cypher, and he cannot get any heals with Cinda being dead. 2G4L have to do it all. The inaccuracy
Nice
is in play. You gotta say, he still hits it. A little bit of skill, a little bit of RNG, and just on sheer will, Royals might take this 13-3 yet again, 2 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, Ambo would have to have something amazing in the bag, and we flipped that one out. We looked at it inside out, nothing. 2G4L are not going to be able to bring us back for this particular map. It will be a swift victory, 13-3 yet again. The magical score line comes true for Royals as they progress now into the semifinals. Congratulations to that team. Condolences to 2G4L. A great run overall in the tournament. They were able to get their way through their bracket very successfully, I want to say. They were able to be a team that, you know, if I just kind of look back here, yeah, they won their group 3-0. They beat those guys. They beat Absolute Legends, Team Zonix as well. Brilliant performances. I thoroughly enjoyed the games, even losing. You know, they put up some really strong challenges, especially Haven. Haven was a really great map overall. It really shows what kind of caliber they can bring to the table, but Royals on a different